Hey folks, how are you? Hope you're enjoying the day. It is absolutely, it's a little chilly. I know it probably doesn't feel like it on the video, but I'm a little chilly. Listen, we're working on some siding work, as you can tell, finishing this building in a beautiful board and batten, beautiful setup. What's interesting about board and batten is it actually used to be, hey Deborah, Ravi, used to be a super popular back in the day trend to do board and batten, and then actually what happened is it kind of went away, and it's coming back in a huge way. Back in the day it was actually super popular because of its cost effectiveness. Since now coming back, it's not so much because it's cost effective, although it is cost effective, but it's also a beautiful finish, and people are really taking advantage of it. So anyways, board and batten, which is what we're finishing this building in, a beautiful setup. I want to give you a pro tip though. I want to look at this. Let me just squeeze in here. I'm just going behind the building. So check out this machine right here. Okay. So we got this machine, and these are the kinds of decisions as investors that are difficult to make. But I got to tell you, this is why at the Real Estate Investment Network, we talk about treating your real estate investment like a business, and this is where it's very important. That machine there's $300 a day. So we've had it for a week now. We're going to have it for another couple days. It's a big investment into a machine, but there's a couple considerations from a business perspective that I want to give you that maybe you haven't thought of, or most people don't think about. Number one is the speed. If we had to, for example, you could see this building here, like I don't have much room here. Okay, I'm actually using the neighbor's driveway in this particular case, but for us to put scaffolding there is very difficult. That'll make the job way more difficult than it needs to be. It'll make siding way more difficult than it needs to be. It'll make operations way more difficult than it needs to be. So the difficulty is a consideration that often people don't give. They just think about the price. Well, $300 a day, I could save $300 a day. My gosh, I mean, ladders and scaffolding is way cheaper than that machine. 100% agree, but you got to think about the difficulty. You got to think that if I had to scaffold around this entire building, even though that may be a little bit cheaper from a straight cost and price perspective, it would also take a lot longer. I'd have to move the scaffolding. I mean, the job itself would take a lot longer. So that business perspective has to be thought about. Not a lot of investors think about things like this from a business perspective, so that's something you need to consider. The other thing that you need to consider is just the straight up effort from your team. At our company, as the Chief Growth Officer of the Real Estate Investment Network, I also run a real estate company, a property management company, as well as a property investment company called Vistra Property Group. And we do these kinds of projects day in and day out. This is what we do. As a result, the ease of the work is very difficult. I get to attract top talent. I get to attract the best of the best because they know that I always get the right materials. They know that I always do the job right. That makes a difference. That, for example, folks, that's a question of your brand. That is an element of what that says about you. And that's a pro tip right there. You have to consider that if you're always trying to cut corners, and if you're always trying to be cheap, and if you're always trying to get away without, considering your team's effort, this makes a huge difference. So, hey, I just want to say hi to everyone who's watching live. Hi, welcome. Put some comments in there if you want. Also, put some questions if you want in here. I want to give you this pro tip because these kinds of machines at $300 a day are pricey as hell. Listen, I'm the first to admit that they're expensive, but I'll tell you this, man, it's worth its weight in gold if you truly consider what's going on. If you consider, look at the beautiful finish this has done. It's done an amazing job of finishing this property, finishing this work. But none of that would be possible without having the right tools, without having the right machines. Now, could you do it with ladders? Yes, you could do it with ladders, but then it gets more difficult. It gets more challenging. It takes longer. And at the end of the day, if you want longevity in this business, if you want to hire the best of the best, and if you want them to be excited about working with you, then you need to provide them the best of the best tools. So that's my pro tip for the day. And we're going to be talking a lot about stuff like this, in the trenches stuff, at the upcoming Real Estate Investment Network Summit. It is November 13th and 14th. Click our link in the bio. It'll send you there. Tickets are incredible value, and it's 1.5 days of in the trenches, real estate information about economics, about where the market is going, about predictions on where the market is going, about specifically what's happening with the coronavirus and COVID-19 and how that's changing the real estate landscape, how to renovate for profit, how to create a rent-ready renovation, how to make sure that you are maximizing not only your return on investment, but maximizing your portfolio for today and for tomorrow. This is your financial security. This is your financial certainty. This is your financial freedom. I hope to see you at the upcoming Real Estate Investment Network Summit, November 13th and 14th. We'll see you soon, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in.